Hey y'all, welcome back to Soothing Voice, to the Soothing Voice channel. So this video, as you can tell from the title, is a little bit different from my previous videos. My goal in making this channel was to upload a video at least once every week. However, I have been MIA, if you noticed, and that's because I'm a real person with real life. And I'm gonna spill the tea a little bit on the trauma that I've been dealing with behind the scenes. I do have my handy duty notes right here to help me stay online or to stay on point and everything like that. But venting can be a therapeutic experience, and I need that right now. I'm not even gonna lie. So, we're gonna dive right into this because my channel, I want to stay positive and encourage people. However, I'm dealing with real life unpleasantries right now. They're existing in my life right now, and I know the same thing is happening for everyone else. So, with that being said, I'm going to candidly speak my mind. So, let's get right into the story time. So, first of all, I've been dealing with a medical ordeal. I have had a sprain for over a year. Now, for those of you who might have had a sprain before or seen people with sprains, you might be like, what is she even talking about? I mean, you have a sprain for over a year. Oh, side note, I got distracted just for a second. As you can see, I blew my hair out. I straightened it. My hair is pretty long. I'm going to do a little lookbook of my outfit because I did wear this to work and I had some meetings and whatnot, and I know I rocked it, so I always like to, you know, show a little something. So I'm gonna do that a little bit better. Um, I'm gonna stand up and show it a little bit better in a second, But right now we're gonna dive into the story time. So, um, so I've had a 1 year sprain, which was actually a misdiagnosis for something else. But really painful ordeal I've been going through for about a year now. Now, um, during this ordeal that's been happening for about a year, my doctor doesn't know when exactly it started because it's kind of tricky. It was misdiagnosed. So I'm going to say about a year. The first 5 months of this ordeal with this medical, situation I'm going through, I did not have any type of support from family or friends, which was really disappointing to me because I would have never thought that, for my adult life. The first 5 months were the absolute worst because in the beginning I was in a wheelchair, and as I progressed on forward, I graduated to crutches. Afterwards, I bought a cane. I was wearing different types of medical devices to help me get around. Went through physical therapy. I was supposed to be A-OK. But this was the first 5 months where it was like just the worst. All types of pain, swelling, tingliness, everything was just really hard for me. Um, my parents, one of my parents visited me 5 times within that 5 months, you know, hustle and bustle of the ordeal. So that means once a month. Now, you can imagine with going through an ordeal that requires you to be in a wheelchair in the beginning and crutches during some of it, and you can't, I was on weight bearing restrictions, which meant that I could not carry things and walk at the same time. For some of the ordeal of the first 5 months, I was bedridden by a doctor's note. It was very limiting to me physically. I was not able to stand up and cook a meal. I was not able to walk down the grocery aisle, pick out items, and walk to the cash register and pay for them. I was not physically able to do that. So you can imagine my frustration upon learning that, nobody was there. And it took me a minute to realize nobody was going to be there. And that really devastated me because I am a really kind hearted, big hearted person. I volunteered countless of years to help people in need, help the elderly, help the sick, the disabled, both mentally and physically. And to have nobody in my corner was devastating to me. It was devastating because I had physical needs. Wasn't able to bathe myself. Wasn't able to do toiletry. Wasn't able to do basically anything for myself, and no one stepped up. It was a matter of constantly hearing, oh, sometimes I hear, girl, I'm so sorry to hear you going through that. Well, I hope you get better. Click. Or, oh, I'm kind of busy right now. What is so and so doing? For 5 months. That's for 5 months. No friends visit me at all. So I thought to myself, now even though I've helped people in the past, I've tended to stay on the introvert side. So I thought maybe I didn't make it clear, to what exactly I was going through. Maybe people didn't know that, this is what happened, that I ended up losing so much weight because I was not eating anything. I wasn't able to feed myself. Maybe people didn't know that, I was sitting around in diapers because I wasn't able to get up to go to the bathroom. Maybe people didn't know that. So, I decided that if anything else would happen, similar to that catastrophic, amount of situation, I would let people know. I'd try to give people the benefit of a doubt. Um, so that's basically what happened. The way that I survived that ordeal was through the grace of God and leaning upon strangers, people who I've never met before and people who I've never seen again, were randomly in my life at the right time. That's the only way I got groceries up the stairs into the house. That's the only way I was able to take the garbage out. I had people willing to help me take the garbage out. I had, if they would see me, limping with crutches, I had people who were willing to help me do all kinds of things. And these people didn't even know me. And it really did open my mind and open my heart to the kindness of strangers. Like, we really do have some good, decent human beings out there. I know that there's always a light shine on what the bad that people are doing, but I can attest to there are some really decent human beings out there who just don't want to see another person suffering. And that's what I did encounter time and time again during my ordeal. So that's what was happening. I'm going to touch a little bit more up on the friendship thing and everything like that in the misdiagnosis and what it turned out to really be in a moment. But right now I'm going to dive into the overall of how 2017 was. So last year was 2017, this is 2018, and last year is when this ordeal developed, right? And also in 2017, it was a really horrific year for me because I had 5 deaths of people who I personally knew, personally loved, and a sixth person lost half of their limbs, had to be amputated. So I'm going through this physical ordeal, and excuse my nervous laughter, but sometimes that's the only way you can get through it. But it's not funny. I'm going through this physical ordeal while people that I love are dying, through various ways. So I'm going to talk about that right now. So at this job where I'm at, I've been there just for a few years, and I'm experiencing and I'm seeing other people go through some severe bullying at work. Now, when I first started, I didn't notice it. And I'll explain how all this ties in a moment, but just bear with me for the moment. So I didn't really notice it. I'm just trying to get a grasp on things, how things work here and everything like that. And, sooner I started to notice about some clickiness. Then I started to notice if one person goes in the bathroom, the second person go in the bathroom and then they run out the bathroom. They don't even want to wash their hands in the presence of the first person. Like, I started noticing cattiness like that. Then I started noticing petty things like rumors. I mean, rumors exist everywhere, but it was some pretty serious rumors going on. People were, call out of their name. Somebody was told you should go prostitute on the corner and stuff like that. So this is what's going on. So um, I really try to stay neutral because I have to work with all these people. I did not come to work to make friends. I'm not really a standoffish type of person, but I feel like my duty is to come there and get paid. Okay, so it's gainful employment. I went to school, got my degree, and I'm coming to work to collect my money. That's exactly what it is. So I didn't really, too much get involved. I see things, and sometimes I try to, console a person if I see them going through something horrible or report it or something like that. And it became more and more adamant. Now, anybody who starts new in my job has to organize the next holiday party. So it was myself and a couple of employees. We started new at the same time, so we had to organize a party and whatnot. And through that process of us organizing the party, we developed, a little bit of a friendship amongst each other. And so I did have some, I feel like I had some camaraderies. I don't know how you pronounce that. Compadres, whatever, my padres, my whatever. And so um, about half a year into the job, a promotion opened up in the job, and I was pretty much a shoe in because I had the most experience, I had the most education, tutories and whatnot, and so I got the promotion. They interviewed several people in the office, and I think several people outside the office, but I was the most qualified. So I get the promotion, and automatically, I would say about 1/3 of the office doesn't like me. I was I was pretty much neutral in the beginning, so I never really gave anybody a reason to not like me. But now all of a sudden, I was having some problems with people. So, I just was like, okay, people are gonna be catty, whatever. Now, me personally, a little side note. I worked for this same company before years ago, and I worked there for a few years in a different branch in a different area, not in this location I am now. And I was passed over for promotions that I was qualified for years. So I understand the feeling, but I never took it out on that person. I'm like, I'm gonna aspire for better. I'm going to maybe go back and get another degree, or I'm just gonna jump ship and go to another company that appreciates me. And so that's exactly what I did. I went to somewhere else. I gained more experience, and then I came to this company at a different location. And then, I stayed for a while and got promoted. So, I was the most qualified in the office, but I knew that it didn't justify the way that I was being treated. All of a sudden, I was being disrespected blatantly, whereas before it was just little jokes. Now it was more. Everybody in this office. I'm the youngest person in the office. Everybody in the office is between the age of my mother and my grandmother. So these people are, 2, 3 times older than me. And so when I would tell my family what they're saying, they were not playing that. And I was not playing that either. I would always stand up for myself and let them know this is inappropriate. This is the actions I'm going to take if it go further. Meanwhile, I'm seeing other people being bullied at work. Um, one coworker was physically abused at work. I forgot if the person slapped her in the face or on the arm, but I remember her showing me that. Countless other people being disrespected at work. That I had reported a man at my job who was harassed. When I reported to my supervisor, he told me that this is what he does. This is just Bob being Bob. Pretty much, I need to accept this, and that I need to suck up to certain people at work. Now, let's pause on that moment because, as you can see, how things are going around globally, people are being seriously sued for harassment. So that's not too smart on their part, not taking things seriously. So that's what's going on. This is leading up to me getting, um, partially incapacitated with my medical ordeal. This is what happened leading up to that. So I'm already feeling some type of way about my office right there. So remember I was telling you about the group where when we started together, we had to create a holiday party or whatnot. We had to organize the next year's holiday party. One person in particular who was on the committee with me, we became best friends. Now, this woman and I, when I was around her, it was something about her. Now, I know that you all have to know somebody like that where when you meet that person, it literally genuinely feels like you know that person for at least 10 years or more. I would say something off the wall, she would say something off the wall, and we would just laugh forever. Like, it just felt like just the most genuine thing I'd ever, that we could ever had. And we were not even, we didn't even know each other that well. We were pretty much strangers until we met at the job. So I developed this budding friendship with her. She, myself, and pretty much half the office were going for the promotion that I got. And once I got the promotion, she fell off a friendship with me because, she wanted it. And I didn't tell it right away, but it quickly set in. And one day I was walking past her office on my way out the door, and I saw a little note that she put on her desk, and she had wrote down some things from my employee file. I don't know what she was going to do with that information. I mean, I'd already gotten a promotion and I was qualified. So it kind of creeped me out because why would you look inside somebody's employee file and write down random stuff? But I was like, okay, she's in her feelings about this. Hopefully she'll come out of it. She did start to come out of it. We started talking again. And, that's when our friendship pretty much ended because she was one of the people who died. So first it was my former supervisor when I was working for the same company years ago with a different location. She died of cancer. She already had cancer when I was working there years ago, so I already knew that she had that, but it was still sad to find out that she died. So she died. Then another coworker who I was working with at the same location years ago, she died due to neglect in a rehabilitation center. So it upset a lot of people who knew her at the job. And so because that was a senseless death that happened. Basically, she didn't have to die in a rehabilitation center. Like, she's there to get well. She just had a sore. There's no reason why she should have died. Why was she neglected by staff? So that happened. Then I had so that was two deaths. Then I had two cousins who died, and they did not die of natural causes. So I'm just going to say that. I'm not even going to get into it, but it was a really horrific ordeal, losing two cousins. And then last but not least was my best friend at the job, who she was upset about the promotion that I got, and she died of lung cancer last year. Now, when she died, it was in between the deaths of my two cousins. So by then, it was really, really hard for me because she was the fifth person that, the fourth or fifth person that I lost. I think my second cousin died last, so I think she was the fourth person. But this is in the throes of the 5 months where I'm not even able to physically get up, so I'm not really able to attend funerals. I'm not really able to, do anything because I'm on bed rest. So basically, after I get off from bed rest, I can't even mourn because at my job there's a peak traveling season where I have to go around and do presentations. I have to go here, go there, do things like that. Very, you know, very present type of thing. And I do like doing presentations, but this was just, it was hard. It was hard because I'll have to go there and speak to people for hours, days on end, and I'm crying inside. So it really started to affect me. And I just tried not to let it show. And I got busier and busier at work. And when she died, that was my confidant. Even though I did not have anybody to be there for me physically, at least I had her to talk to. And then I didn't have anybody to talk to. So that happened in 2017 with the deaths and with the bullying that was going on at work. Now, I was reporting things to upper management about things that I seen, things that I had gone through, and that was not well received because a lot of people who were doing the bullying were in cliques with upper management. And so when it came time for my annual review, which was spotless, by the way, they included a second sheet on the review without my name on it and just included a whole pack of lies. And they couldn't include it with my regular review because, of course, I would, rebuttal that because I'd been reporting different types of things going on. So this was basically a backlash for reporting things. So that happened, but it still didn't stop me from putting my best foot forward and just trying to get healthy again, get my weight back up because I lost so many pounds by not being able to get out of bed, not being able to eat, not being able to, get up and make a meal and do stuff like that for myself. And then I lost 5 people. Then at the end of all that, the sixth person that I love, they didn't die, but they end up getting half of their limbs amputated. So it was just, it was, it was insurmountable amount of hell, basically, for lack of a better word. And I don't mean to curse, but that's exactly what was going on. So now, mind you, I'm still in my grind at work. I'm still trying to make sure that my position is one where I can utilize it to the fullest. And while I got promoted, I forgot to mention that I was never trained. Now, that's a problem because, excuse me, my level of responsibilities definitely requires training. So I had to learn the job while all this stuff is going on. I had to learn the job while all this people are dying that I love. Their limbs are being amputated. I'm bedridden and I have to learn my job on my own. I'm not a favorite, so I'm being lied on. I have to present truths all the time to show that someone lied on me so that things won't go on my permanent record. It was a lot going on. So the last topic I want to talk about is loneliness, and this directly relates to the medical ordeal, so I'll talk about that in closing right now. So throughout the ordeal where I had the misdiagnosis of the sprain, I mentioned that I didn't have any emotional support, whether from friends or family. So this year, 2018, I was complaining about this area where there was a sprain, and I'm like, this is a year later, it's not getting any better. Occasionally I'm having swelling, it's red, it's inflamed, I feel like there's spiders crawling inside. Something is definitely wrong. This is not a sprain. And so upon further testing, they found out I was misdiagnosed. It's not a sprain. I developed a tumor, and the tumor is eating away my bone. And at that point, I was not ready to hear that. I was not ready. I was ready to hear what was going on, but that was a lot for me. That was a lot. That was a lot. And I just decided, because remember what I said last year, I was going to let people know so that they can take part in my life. Now, a little side note. For 2018, I had already planned a vacation, right? So I was planning on going on a vacation with a few friends, and I'd already paid for the portion where I need to pay for, and I didn't really ask them to chip in too much because I had planned it, and I was kind of okay with that. One of us drive, maybe one of us, pick up the food while we're there, the tab for the food and drinks, and we're good. But when I told my friends, I messaged them, I texted some of them, the other ones I sent out a Facebook message on my wall, and I just said, I'm preparing my house for post-surgery for once they take out the tumor. And I got a few responses, saying praying for you. And I'm not trying to knock people, because I think people are genuinely coming from a kind place, but I wanted someone who actually was gonna make sure that I had food. You don't have to buy anything for me, but can you at least be by my side? Maybe visit me post surgery. Maybe talk to me, talk me down when I'm freaking out and I'm reading things on WebMD, or be there for me in any capacity other than social media apps. And I did not get that. When I put that up there, one of the people who was supposed to go with me on the vacation, she didn't even comment on, I'm sorry to hear this, da 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 da. She said, so are we still going on the vacation, right? So in that moment, I'm like, I'm really running with a group of greedy people because the responses I was getting were something else, and I should definitely have pulled them up so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But basically, it made me realize that last year it was not that I wasn't screaming loud enough about my medical diagnosis and what was happening to me. It was just I was running with a pack of people who just didn't give a damn about me. Like, these people don't give a fudge about me. They don't care if I lose weight. They don't care if I'm crying, if I'm in chronic pain. They just don't care. Like, they just generally just don't care. But when it's time for us to go to the club, when it's time for us to go on vacation, that's when these people show up. They're just party goers. They're just what's on the surface. And so I said, I just have to make some changes in my life with regards to who I'm hanging around, because I'm the type of person where if you need me, I'll be there for you. I won't just send you a quick little message, on social media. And so I just felt like, I'm seeing exactly who my friends are. I'm seeing exactly who my family is. Because, again, with my family, when it's time for me to spend my dime, everybody shows up. Everybody wants to even invite people in plus one. When I'm wearing a shitty diaper and I lost 20 pounds and I can't keep any food down and I'm tripping down the stairs, I have to rely upon strangers on the street in order to live and survive. I have to survive on the grace of God because nobody who knows me and loves me was there for me. So that's what I learned quickly when I was diagnosed correctly with the tumor. Um, and side note, as far as my medical diagnosis, they're checking other parts of my body which may have tumors as well. So I'm waiting on those results. So this is the ordeal that I'm going through. So again, back to loneliness. Realizing that people were there for me just for the fun times, for nothing else, that was hard. But I think that it was Einstein who said that when you keep repeating the same thing and expecting, different results, that's insanity. So I don't want to be insane. I know what it is now. I can see for what it is. So I did decide to start not start, but join um, like a social media that get together app. Try to broaden out my friendship circle. Now I'm going to mention a few more things, and I'm going to talk about how I've been dealing with all of this. So with me being running in the social crowds that I've been running in, when I was in college, the first degree, I really didn't know how to socialize with people. When I went to college for the second degree and I went to a different university, I was a lot better at it. But basically, my upbringing was I was involved with a group growing up. My family made sure that I was with this certain group because they thought it was going to be best for me. The group did help out in a lot of areas. I can't even lie that they did, but it caused it was a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure to be perfect and a lot of pressure to do things I feel are abnormal and I feel just shouldn't be done. There was a lot of social trauma that was practiced there. A lot of, you're going to do this exactly as I say that you are, otherwise you're worthless. And it was little things being told to me and to others every day, to where it would just basically beat us down so you can build us up to be whatever you want us to be. So that was happening to me from a younger age. And because of that, by the time I grew up and I was like, I do want to go to college. They even told me that, like, I couldn't go to college. I was supposed to be valedictorian for my high school. I couldn't accept that because they said that was, oh, I'm sorry, I think there's a fly in here. They said that would be a sin before God to accept the valedictorian title. And they said all types of things. I wasn't allowed to move out of my parents' house unless I was married. There was a lot of controlling things going on. So over time, you can start off as strong as a rock, but we're all human beings, and things eat and eat and eat and eat away at us, and that's what it was geared to do. So it started to do that for me as well as other people that I've seen. So when I did grow up and I was able to make responsible decisions in my own life, I didn't even feel like I was worth making those decisions. I didn't feel like I should have made those decisions. I was always running to this group. Oh, is it okay for me to do this? And they would be telling me whether or not I can do stuff. This is happening. This group that we were in, this was happening to people from baby age to elderly age. So it was grown people, grown ass people in this mix too. And you can imagine how this is like this, but when you're growing up, things are a little bit different. Growing up, things are a little bit different. So because you see things as being the norm, and then you learn that you're not able to have outside experiences, which of course could let you know that there are alternative ways to living, right? So when I was able to make my own, responsible decisions, I didn't have the necessary skills for adult life that would allow me to be successful, that would allow me to be social, to be healthy or independent. The way that I was taught was just to thrive in toxic environments where I was manipulated and all this other type of stuff. So the first time I went to college, where I wasn't even supposed to go, really, I didn't know what the heck to do. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't have any experience making my own decisions, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a good thing, but it was a lot. And so the second time I went to college, I decided, I'm going to try to talk to people. I'm going to try to, ease my way into circles. And if I felt more in my skin when I was being social, even if it was to what some might consider a small degree, it was a big step for me, and I loved it. And I felt like I was doing me. I was more genuine. So the a lot of the friends that I did gain in college, I don't, how you just move around and stuff like that. I didn't really have a lot to hold on to and stuff like that. So that's where the loneliness comes into play now, just trying to find, and build new, healthy relationships. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about? So with this upcoming, so with this tumor, so I have to have a surgery now. I have an upcoming surgery. My feelings about it right now, since I'm venting, I feel angry that I even have to have this. I'm just sad that I was misdiagnosed. This has been going on. This tumor has been growing inside of me for over a year now. Possibly some more tumors that I'm getting tested about. Eating up my bone. I'm feeling angry that it even exists inside of me. I know that there's nothing my body could have done to cause it or prevent it, but there's some anger there. I feel bitter about it, that I'm going through it, that I'm going through it alone. Physically, I feel nervous. I don't want to have this surgery, but I'm going to have this surgery because they told me if I don't have the surgery, it's going to grow and eat up even more bone until I lose that limb. So I'm going to have the surgery. And I've been getting my house ready for the upcoming surgery. Now that I know a little bit more about what it entails, I'm like, okay, so I need this, this, and this. But what makes me feel good is also a point that saddens me. I feel good that I'm taking control of my life and my responsibilities for taking care of my well-being, but I'm sad because I know I'm setting up my house so that I can live in it for a solo recovery, because that's what I'm most likely going to have, is a solo recovery, because I'm having people again saying that they're going to be there for me, but they weren't there for me the first time around, so I know better than to rely upon them. I just have to make it so I'm able to survive at this time where I don't have to rely upon strangers. So that's what that is. For coping mechanisms, I do like to watch certain type of TV programs. I'm a video game fanatic, always have been. Um, One thing that I do, I don't know, pause. I don't know if anybody else out there does this. I feel a little bit embarrassed to admit it, but sometimes going through the throes of this bullying situation at work and this medical condition that I got going on, all these people in my life who died, all this stuff, I added a new coping mechanism. I don't know if other people do it, but here it is. I started watching Get Ready with Me's in the morning as a positive social experience in my day. What saddens me, and one thing I am working on fixing, is that some days, actually most days, watching a Get Ready with Me video in the morning on YouTube is the only positive social experience I have in my day. Because the rest of the day, I'm bullied at work. I have to stand up for myself. I witness other people being bullied. I try to encourage them to stand up for themselves. I'm in a toxic, hostile work environment. You know, I don't really have any type of emotional support or anything like that. So that's some things that I'm working on, and that's some things that I'm going through. So like I said, I've been MIA, and I just wanted to, just get some things off my chest about why I was MIA, because I think it is positive and therapeutic to vent. But also, with this being a channel where I want to use to encourage people, who knows? I know that there are a lot of other people out there going through a lot worse things than me, so I'm not trying to say I'm the poster child for being victimized. In fact, I do not ever want to be the poster child for being victimized. But it's healthy to just get things off your chest. And with me not having that emotional support outlet out, and with me not having that emotional support out there, I was like, who better to listen than my YouTube viewers? So thank you so much for listening to me. It really helped me to be able to get some things off my chest, some things that I'm just not able to tell another person. So I don't feel loathsome. I don't feel anything like that because of who I am and everything I've been through. I just know that certain things do exist. It's sad. They shouldn't exist. In a perfect world, they wouldn't. But it is, it is what it is. And it's all about me and other people learning how to maneuver all of those things. How can we make our world a better place? How can we make our world a better place so that other people don't have to go through these monstrosities alone? And how can we make things good for ourselves? So I am going to pamper myself after this video. I'm not even going to lie. I have some pampering things in my house. I bought myself one of those TENS machines, which if you guys don't know what that is, I'll try to upload a picture or something like that over here. This is the TENS machines that I was talking about. This one comes with 4 of the channel for the TENS to get the muscle relaxation that you need and desire. TENS machine, it's a great gift. I have actually a back massager that you just lay it down on the chair that you're about to sit in, or the bed where you're going to lay on, and you plug it in and it just massages and works. And it's really long and tall. It fits my whole body. And then I have here is the massage mat that I'm talking about. As you can see, it is super freaking long, and it has the massage controllers right here for the heat, all the heat you need, and that vibrating massage motion. And this is where it plugs in. So it's about 6 feet long. And the neck massager I'll try to include here as well. Here you can see my neck massager has all the heat you need right here, and of course the vibrating action and the rotating action from these nodules here really get into the tough spots. And I think this was about 20 bucks from Walmart. If you like this video, please be sure to give a thumbs up. Also, feel free to share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing this mask, I have a massive mask collection, as I explained in my earlier videos. So I'm going to be wearing my masks every time, I think, maybe for a little while, just because I have so many of them. I have not worn. That concludes my video. I do feel a lot better, but stay tuned for my next video, which are which is more in tune with what this channel was originally started for me to just use my soothing voice to basically talk about random things. But I do like this video, and I also want to include a lookbook. I think I'll start to include a lookbook of my everyday looks. So I'm definitely going to show you this outfit I got on because I think it's a banger. So up next, for my next video, you will hear me talking about sleepy words and phrases. So catch you next time. Bye.